Hi guys, how y'all doing out there? I'm Doug Best, and today is Saturday, January the 3rd. Oh my God. I just want to come and have a cup of coffee with you guys. I know some of you guys are out there probably watching the 49ers game. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody out there that's aware or paying attention to what just happened this morning, early this morning. Man, this is like once in a lifetime that what happened. And let me just bring you guys up to par. I'm Doug from the Doug Best Show in the United States of America, Fresno, California. I love America, even with all its faults. And our president, Donald Trump, he's our president, he's your president, and he's everybody's president, whether you like him or not. And then, for weeks and for months, I've been telling everybody that, I'm going to make the Doug Best Show a national show. How you going to do that? I'm going to tackle the big issues. So today, or earlier this morning, President Trump and the United States military went into Venezuela and took their president with his wife. And they're incarcerated. They're probably in New York MDC, Federal Detention Center. So some of you guys, if you guys never been to a federal detention center, I have. But let me tell you what happens when you go there. It don't matter how much money you got or who you are. They're going to break you down to nothing. That's what happens. Stay with me. United States of America military went to Venezuela, the country. They lost no men. There was no injuries. There was no deaths on the American part at all. But a lot of things happened over there in Venezuela. So America took the oil. But back to the president and his wife. New York MDC. A lot of you guys probably remember that's where Diddy was at. But they moved him up out of there. And when you go to the MDC, it's called a Metropolitan Detention Center. I was there. But that's not nothing I'm bragging about. I'm just making a point. But what they do when you get in there, they humiliate you. They strip you down to nothing. Strip you down to nothing. Buck naked. And they make you bend over. Open the cheeks of your anus or your behind and cough. And then if the person really, really wants to humiliate you, I'm telling you what happens. I went through it a lot of times, hundreds of times. And if they really want to humiliate you, they'll make you open your cheeks. They'll take a light and shine it up in there and make you cough. So if anything in there, it's going to come out. So it don't matter that they got the president of Venezuela and his wife. They're going to do her the same exact way. They're going to check her, the behind the anus. They're going to check the ears. They're going to check the mouth. And they might cut the hair off. So the female, his wife, they're going to strip her down like they do everybody else. Once you get in the Metropolitan Detention Center, the criminal justice system, they don't care who you are. You finna be berated so you realize that the American government is powerful. They're going to take Maduro's wife. She is in New York Metropolitan Detention Center. They're going to open up her vagina, stick a light up in there to make sure she's not carrying nothing. And in her anus, they're going to do the same thing, in her ears and her mouth. This what happens. This what happens. So you guys stay with me. We on the Doug Best Show. We're going to tackle some of the big issues. And the most important thing is, we try and be unbiased. I was in Walmart a few minutes ago, and I was telling a lady about Charlemagne the guy from the Breakfast Club. And she says, is he a Trump lover? But she's looking at me like, you better not get on there. I'm getting her to be a subscriber. You better not be a Trump lover. I don't necessarily love Trump or hate Trump. I'm trying to be impartial and grow the Doug Best Show so you'll know. If the average Joe Blow out there, they're not watching the news no more. They watching podcasts. And I want the Doug Best Show to be where you could come and you'll know that you could get some real information, not no fake news. Not no fake news. A lot of people, I was telling them I'm finna go and do a podcast, and they were saying, what? What's going on right now is the podcasts have taken over. where where people normally go to channel 24, channel 30, or channel 47, ABC, NBC, or CBS, podcasts are taking over. So back to where we at today. Donald Trump. Donald Trump proved today that he's the most powerful man on the planet Earth. Period. The most powerful man on the planet Earth. Why you say that, Doug? Look, Russia and Ukraine are fighting for the natural resources. That's what the fight is all about. The Palestinians and Israel, they fighting for the natural resources in Palestine. It's oil there. And look what Trump did today. If this was a heist, a robbery, and I'm not saying that the president committed a robbery. If this was a robbery, just imagine, guys, if anybody out there just listen to me. Man, United States of America has oil. Saudi Arabia has oil. Mexico has oil. Russia has oil. But just imagine, if you put all those countries together, all their oil, worth trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. The United States of America just took that oil and didn't lose one human soul at all. Period. So what do that do to all the other countries in the world that's talking crazy to America? Iran, they were getting some of that oil from Venezuela. Russia, they were getting some of that oil from Venezuela. China, they was getting some of that oil from Venezuela. Now, America controls the oil. And they say that for the last 25 years that Maduro, he has been the kingpin or the mastermind behind all the cocaine trade in the Western Hemisphere. Probably true. It's probably true. But guys, I want you to know, if you're the chief executive officer of a country or the mayor of the city, man, you could pretend like you're a nice guy, but in reality, you got to be very, 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 very deadly. So most of these guys, they operate off of the laws and the 48 powers of laws. Look, this is a book. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's called 48 Powers of Laws. This Trump, if you ever read this book, I done read it 20 times. That's why it's all tore up. This is Trump, 48 Laws of Power, second part of Trump. I know Trump read the book because I didn't study Trump. 2 books I'm positive that he read because I didn't study them. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's what Trump does. He charms you. He cons you. He manipulates you. And then he controls you. Oftentimes, people say that, man, I'd rather be respected than anything in the world. But that's not run the world. That's not how the world is ran. The world is ran exactly how Donald Trump is running it, through fear. So the question becomes, I believe in Jesus. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in Allah. Salute.
Gracias.
Salute. I believe in all these different entities outside the human realm. But right now, today, Donald Trump and the United States government just took all control of Venezuela. I watched the news conference 4 times, over and over and over again. And plus, I watched it on the BBC from across the waters. And then I watched it on the Mexican channel. What is Donald Trump doing? He's sending a message to the whole world. I run this world. So this morning, before I came on the Doug Best Show, I called a few people. Leaders, I guess they're supposed to be leaders. I texted a few people. I emailed a few people. I said, man, let's get on the show. Let's have a coffee and talk to the people. on the Doug Best Show. And man, just so our voice, our opinions, and our thoughts could have a voice. That's what the Doug Best Show is about. You guys, if you stand here in the city of Fresno, you're not going to be able to go to Channel 30 and do a news conference. You're not going to be able to go to Channel 24 and do a news conference. You're not going to be able to go to Channel 47 or Channel 26 and do a news conference. That's why I created the Doug Best Show. And sometimes, we might talk about the distractions like Diddy and 50 Cent and those kind of things, but those aren't real power moves. These are power moves. And sometimes, I'm going to get out where in the water was the most deepest right here. Today, we talking about Donald Trump. The most powerful man in the world, whether you like him or dislike him or not. And so what did they do today? They took the oil from Venezuela. You guys right here with me, we're having a donut and a cup of coffee. Some of you guys probably saying, man, what the hell is he talking about? Marcos Rubio, the Secretary of State, said that Maduro, they gave him multiple chances, but he wanted to keep playing games. So the Trump administration said that if he want to keep playing games, we're going to show him. They said if they wouldn't have captured him today, he would have been a dead man. That was an option on the table. He tried to get into some kind of safe house that they have. They say that the metal was so thick, it would have took them 47 seconds to blow it apart. But America got the best military on the planet Earth. Thank God, I'm happy I'm here in America, that I'm not having no problems with America. So today, how did that affect us, the average person? How? This is how. So when Donald Trump went over and took all the oil from Venezuela, and you on Facebook and you talking like you know what you're talking about, Doug, how it affects you. I Googled it. Plus, I've been studying it for weeks anyway. That's what I do. I study economic trends, and I study what happens when this happened and when that happened. I went to ChatGPT and see what they had to say. I went to Google. I went to all the sources that I know to look up. And so how do it help us? I hate that Trump. Somebody might say that. But now, I went to Walmart just last night to buy 2 steaks. My senorita is right here. It cost $68. $68 for 2 steaks. And I told her, this right here is not sustainable. The American economy is not going to be able to sustain this for long periods of time. And we don't have a problem. I could afford to buy 2 steaks for $68. I seen my man Mike Hughes the other day. He was eating steak and lobster. Yeah, but guys, so what happens right now that America's took that oil? That's more oil than anybody in the world has. What do that mean? The price of gas finna go down. Somebody's saying that, that Trump is this, Trump is that. He is helping the American people with this one. The price of gas finna go down. The price of oil is gonna go down. The price of gas for PG&E is finna go down. And all the other different products and materials that you make out of petroleum is finna go down. Jobs, is gonna be more jobs. And somebody might say that, what he did is not right. According to the Bible, he shouldn't have did that. I don't know. Maybe he's wrong. But like I said earlier, the president of the United States is operating from a position of power, not emotions, not emotions. You can't run nothing major. You can't even run the best. You can't run the Doug Best tax office off emotions. It's power. And then whether we want to accept it or not, he's in a position of power. And then I remember somebody said once that power, a little power corrupts, a lot of power corrupts, absolutely. It's probably true. But today, I just want to just get over here and just voice the Doug Best Show, thoughts on what Donald Trump did today, what Donald Trump did this morning by taking over Venezuela. And then, so the last thing, what did this mean to Russia? What do this mean to China? What do it mean to Iran? They were trying to get over here in the Western Hemisphere, just like Russia tried to do in 1960. I'm not going to go over you guys' head, but for the conscious that read and understand, they know where I'm coming from. So by Donald Trump going over there and taking that oil, it's sending a message, not subliminal, an overt message to China, to Russia, to Iran. Do not come in this hemisphere trying to take anything, and the rest of the countries. Mexico, we could take your oil. He didn't say that. But to Colombia, the Colombian president was saying this and the Colombian president was saying that. Donald Trump told him, I seen him this morning, you need to watch your ass because you might be next. You might be next. And then so somebody might be saying that, this guy Donald Trump is just all talk. I don't know, man. It seemed like he's 8 for 8 when he go and taking whatever he want to take. And so, Doug, are you a MAGA? Are you loving Trump? No. I just want to get on the Doug Best Show and give a voice to the people. Us. Not just black people, not just Mexican people, not just poor white people, not just Asian people. A voice to say that though we don't have access to the main media, the playing field is level. That's why we created the Doug Best Show, me and my senorita. She's sitting there. She says, I just want to just sit there and just give you some moral support. And then for the guys here in my city, the leaders, the few people that I call and I text, my senorita says, don't get on there and say the wrong thing. Don't call them cowards. I wouldn't do that. But I think that, if you're in a position of leadership and you could go get on channel 30, you can go get on channel 24, you channel 47, you could come be on the Doug Best Show, but you could do what you want to do. And I made a promise the other day. I'm going to make the Doug Best Show a national show. It ain't going to be no subject that we won't tackle at all. I don't have to know everything about everything, but I can always go get an expert that do. So guys, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, and all the people that, been sticking with me. And man, we're going to challenge the big subjects, no matter whatever it is, and we're going to always be respectful. I'm from America. I love America. And never, never, never am I going to get on here and be disrespectful to somebody that, their ideology might be totally different from mine. It could be a Mexican lady. It could be a white guy. It could be an Asian guy. It could be a blatant enemy. But once he take a seat in one of these chairs on the Doug Best Show, he's going to always get treated with respect. But you got to make sure that all your ducks in a row, because, if it's not correct, we're going to have to call you out, because this ain't going to be no fake news or nothing like that. And sometimes, we're going to tackle some of the social issues. And I'm not going to be a caricature. I'm not going to get on here and just trying to do something just to be on the air. This is a show for the people. And how you're going to reach millions of people? I know. Because I know it's millions of people out there thinking just like me. And then they need a voice. They need a voice to express what they feeling. And hey, guys, I'm Doug. This my senorita. This the Doug Best Show. And today, you having coffee and donuts with me and my senorita. And right now, we ain't all over the world just yet. But in a little while, I can guarantee you on my life, the people in positions of power, the people that's conscious and the people that's got good sense, they watching my every move. And I'm not going to do nothing wrong. And then I'm finna close. In a couple of days, on the 7th, Best Taxes is going to open. And then like the Secretary of State, Marcos Rubio, said, man, the Trump administration ain't playing no games. Look, guys, they said that they gave Maduro, this the president of Venezuela, they just took trillions and trillions. What's $1 trillion? I don't know. I know what $1 million is. 5 million, 10 million. I know what that is. But the guy kept playing games. And finally they took the country from him. And what's the point? The people, self-employed people, that we've been doing your taxes, if you've been playing games over and over and over again, man, the Trump administration is not playing. It was a new bill. It's called a Big Beautiful Bill. Now it's called a Big Beautiful Law. You guys got to have all your ducks in a row, and that's why. We transitioning up out of the tax business to make the Doug Best Show what it's supposed to be, and then I don't have to worry about finances and all that stuff. I see you, Senator. She says, don't never talk about money. But the Doug Best Show is a business, but it's a business and it's a platform for the people. And guys, always with love, baby. I'm your friend. Let's ride. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Donald Trump is the most powerful man on the planet Earth. Do that mean I'm a MAGA? Hell no, I don't mean a MAGA. That just means that I see what the reality is. And he took that oil. And then in a little while, the price is going to come down. Thanks, guys. I'm your friend, Senator. You can say hi to the people, bye to the people.
Okay, thank you for the support, and we're going to go cross big to this new year. And I just need the people to start working with that.
Please, please. And today, I think I might leave here, the Sheriff Margaret Mims and another gentleman is running for governor. We might go over there, and I might end up having to get me a reporter, a roving reporter. Believe me, they think I'm just talking. Get a roving reporter. When I'm here, I might not be able to go out in the field. I might just send somebody out there. Or, something breaking newsworthy might break, and I'm in the tax office. I'm going to shut the curtains, lock the doors, get on the microphones, and tell everybody we got a voice for the people. A voice for the people. What you think, little mama? We going to go down there? You want to get on? We might drive to San Francisco, Pismo Beach, or what you think? We'll do something.
I think.
It's cold. Okay, guys, I'm your friend, baby. I'm Dougie. Donald Trump's the most powerful man in the world. He just proved it.
See you this coming 7th.
Yeah. We'll see you on the 7th. And on the 6th, we're supposed to have Boucher Ware in here.
No, that's 6th.
The 6th is we're going to have a podcast. The dog whisperer, Boucher Ware. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Doug Best Show is here to stay, and we're going to make it big. Booyah! America.